Hi, my name is Pamela, and we are about to change things up around here. So, I have been struggling creatively for a while, and I think I've discussed this a lot, and I don't want to continue discussing this. So, I am switching things up. I am going to start talking more about books. So, that doesn't mean I won't sprinkle creativity stuff around the channel. It just means that I would say about 90% of what I will be discussing on this channel is going to be books. So I love books. I've always loved books, and I'm about to do the book newbie tag. I do have my laptop down here, so if I look down, it's because I'm reading what I put, because I did type out my answers, just so that I could process like what I was gonna say a little bit. Okay, so let's just get started. Let's just dive in. Okay, so the first question is, why did you start this channel? Well, I think I just kind of mentioned that. This channel has gone through some transitions, and yeah, I mean, I think honestly the main part is because I have been a consumer of Booktube for years and years and years and years, and I have always liked the community, and I always find it interesting when there is like different opinions on the same book. I always enjoy that because I'll discuss this a little bit further, but that is one of like the biggest things I think that I really like about the community, or like I admire about the community, is that we can all be reading the same thing, but doesn't mean we're going to process it the same. So I really like that, and I just like that there are so many books, so there are so many possibilities of conversations and things like that. So if you know me in real life, you know that I'm always recommending books too. So I figured, why not put it on video and share it with whoever is willing to listen. So I guess that's why I started my channel. I like the community. I've been watching it for a while, decided I wanted to participate in it. Yeah. And then the next question is, what are some fun and unique things you can bring to Booktube? I just think I can add to the fun conversations that the community has. Like I mentioned a little bit ago, we can all be reading the same book. Doesn't mean we're all going to get the same thing out of it. So I think that it's fun to share our opinions about books that we read, because at the end of the day, reading for me is a hobby. I do have a 9-to-5 job that I love. I have a career that I really, really love. It is in the corporate world. And I read to take a mental break sometimes. So, yeah. So I think I can bring my unique take on things. We all have, based on the life we have lived up until now, whether it was by choice or it was, you know, things we couldn't really control as kids. Like, the life we have is the life we got. So I think reading books and sharing our perspectives or our opinions on things, I think part of what we've lived through does play a part in how we view things. So I just think it's always, I don't know, like I'm always intrigued because, you know, we're all unique in our own way, and I know that sounds cliche, but it's true. Like I said, like we have all lived different lives. We've all had similar experiences, but at the core of it, we've all lived different lives, right? Because we're all individuals, different individuals. So I think that perspective of the life I have lived up until now and my experiences will, you know, that's what I can contribute to the booktube community. And, you know, when I discuss books or things I liked or didn't like about books and things like that. So yeah, it's what I admire about Booktube, and I think I can contribute to that conversation. So the next question is, what are you most excited for about this new channel? I am excited to talk about books. Like I mentioned in the first question, I think, if you know me in real life, I talk about books. I am always reading something. I'm always going down rabbit holes of series, or yeah, right now, which will be, I guess, another video, is I fell down through the Sailor Moon manga rabbit hole. So yeah, there's always something going on. I love it. I'm also really excited to start reading vlogs. Partly because I really like to watch reading vlogs, like getting to experience and like see people's feelings or lack thereof when they're reading a book. I really enjoy that, and I like to see like little glimpses into their day-to-day life as well. So yeah, I'm excited. I do want to do reading vlogs. I don't know when I'll start them, but that is one thing I'm looking forward to do, is like documenting my experience reading a book. And in reality, I'm just excited for all the possibilities. Like, now that I'm taking off the weight of, that I put on myself, by the way, now that I'm taking off the weight of sharing what I craft and what I make and stuff like that, I'm excited to just share what I'm reading and like my thoughts behind it. It does seem less intimidating in the sense that I don't have to like come up with like a crafting project or something like that I have to make and then film and then edit, and then, you know, like, I'm just excited to read and share. I don't know. I'm just excited for all the possibilities. The fourth question is, why do you love reading? Well, like I mentioned earlier, I like to read because I like to take little mental breaks from my actual reality sometimes and check into a different world. Not because my life is bad, because I don't want you to think that. It's just sometimes we need a break, you know? And like, as a millennial with so many, I feel like catastrophes, I think that's how you say it, happening, I feel like every 2 years, sometimes I just need a break. I just need to like not think about decisions I need to make. I also have ADHD, so decision fatigue is a thing. So sometimes jumping into a book gives my brain a rest, because at work I do make a lot of decisions, and at the end of the day, sometimes that's the last thing I want to do is make decisions. So I do jump into books to kind of give my brain a break in that sense. I also one set of my grandparents, I'm a daughter of immigrants, yay. But one set of my grandparents, they didn't know how to read or write. My grandma doesn't really know how to count money till this. I mean, I think now she kind of figured it out a little bit, but they didn't go to school. So I never want to take that for granted. I don't want, I mean, I feel like education was just something in general I never wanted to take for granted. So any opportunity I had to join a not history, I did join honors history, but any opportunity I had to join honors English and then eventually AP English and things like that, I did, just for the simple fact that my grandparents couldn't do that. They didn't know how to read or write, so I took that as, I mean, I do think it's sad, and I thought back then it was sad, but yeah, I never want to take it for granted. So I love reading just because it's not something that they were able to do as kids or as teenagers or even young adults. My grandpa didn't learn to read until he was about, past his 50s. And once he learned how to read, he read his Bible every single day, all day, any chance he got, until the day he passed away. He did learn how to write, kind of, but not too much. But he didn't know how to read, so that's cool. And then my other set of grandparents, my grandpa loved to read. He loved anything he could get his hands on, he would read. So, yeah, I don't know. I guess I just don't ever want to take it for granted. So, that's why I love reading. The fifth question is, what book or series got you into reading? The first series I remember as a kid reading was the Junie B. Jones series. I loved Junie B. Jones. Now, if you ask me what it was about or anything like that, I don't really remember. But I remember I loved those books. And anytime my class would go to the library and we'd get to pick out books, I'd pick up as many Junie B. Jones books as I could. I didn't understand back then the series go in order type of thing. I don't know if that one does. I never read it in any order just because I didn't know. Again, I am daughter of immigrants. There's just a learning curve to life, or the education system, whether you think it's right or wrong or good or bad. There's just a learning curve because our parents, my parents, had no idea. So, side note, when I got into college, I had to Google how to sign up for college because nobody in my family had gone to college, and my parents couldn't help me. They were there emotionally supportive, but they also didn't know. And then my high school counselors, I never saw them, so I didn't really know that was a thing until I graduated college. I feel like I learned of all these things that I could have taken advantage of, and I just never knew. So anyways, so kind of that book series and stuff, that was a thing I didn't know. I just picked up books when we went to the library. Whatever order I read them in is the order I read them in. I think when I got to late middle school, I realized what a series was and how book series worked and how they do go in order. So then that is also when Harry Potter became a thing. So then I read Harry Potter, and I read those in order. I remember going to the midnight release of the 7th book with my friends at Barnes & Nobles. So there's that. Question number 7 is, what challenges do you think starting a Booktube channel will be the hardest to overcome? I think the biggest thing that I'm going to have to overcome is my self-consciousness when it comes to my body. Over the years, I have gained weight, and it's no secret. It is what it is. Could I be making healthier choices? Always. But sometimes I don't. Overcoming, sharing more than just this on camera is going to be a thing, because in my creative videos that I used to make, it was mainly just my hands, because it was an overhead shot, and then you would just see my hands creating whatever it was I was creating. So I think the vlogging aspect, which is what I'm most excited about, honestly, is the vlogging. But that's also, I know what's going to be hard, is that I'm going to have to overcome myself, my self-consciousness in that sense, and just be okay with it. But I think it'll also help me push myself out of that comfort zone. So I think that's what's going to be hardest. Question number 8 is, where do you read? I read anywhere in my house, honestly. I read in the living room mainly, just because it's a huge couch and it's just a comfortable couch. So I do read there a lot. I read here in this chair. This is my reading chair. And then I also read in bed before I go to bed. I just got like a back pillow, like reading pillow. I'm so excited. I'll show you guys once it comes in, but I am so excited for this pillow. It is nice. So we're just waiting for that to come in. But I do read in bed. And then I also like to read outside in our backyard. I have like one of those egg chairs, like that are like patio chairs that are like on this thing where they kind of hang. Yeah, that's probably one of my most favorite chairs or places to read at besides the living room couch. Question number 9 is, what kind of books do you like to read? Okay. I think it's easier for me to say I don't really like romance books and I don't like smut. I read a lot of thrillers, mysteries, horror, and then like regular fiction, historical fiction I like too. And then I recently, like a few years ago, I started to pick up on fantasy and sci-fi. So, and then the last question is, what does your collection look like? So I can show you my bookshelves, but I feel like I have to give a little disclaimer. So my card was full, so I had to make room on it. But I was saying that I feel like I need to give a disclaimer because we recently moved my bookshelves from the basement upstairs. So my books, I just put them wherever. Okay, so this is my current state of my bookshelves. So that was kind of an overview of my bookshelves. Like I said, they are not organized, so I need to do that. But rest assured, whatever I do decide to do, like whatever way I decide to organize it, I will let you guys know and I'll probably give you guys an update. So yeah, I hope you enjoyed this video. This is the newbie tag. So I never know how to end these things. I also never know how to end my meetings that I host at work. So I'm just going to say bye. Thank you for watching. Bye.